Tonight is all about numbers, numerology for success.
No matter what number it is, you can be a success. Okay. So if you don't have a specific number in mind, don't worry about it. We will get there. So numbers are part of our everyday lives. Of course, they surround us. They give us insight into careers, desires, hopes, potential partners, creative endeavors, even our shortcomings. And this lecture is all about the basics. And I'm going to teach you how to find your personal numbers for the day, the month, the year. And I'm going to give you some clues to life that you can go by. And some of the clues are a little bit general, so you can take your pick. A lot of the numbers will correspond to number one, your heart's desire, also called the soul's urge. That's what it wants you to do in this particular lifetime. Also, your personality, you can get clues to that, and your destiny, and your birth or your life path in this life. All this information will enable you to make your own chart. It's really easy, the system that I use. The symbolism is very ancient and it's pervasive and deeply intertwined with religion, philosophy, mysticism, and of course, mathematics. The numbers I'll be using are just 1 through 9. So it's like I said, pretty simple. It does not get real complicated. Numerology is known before the 20th century as arithmancy. Let's see. I had a spot I wanted to start here. Let's see. Okay, the different cultures and traditions have assigned specific meanings to numbers. Often they link them to divine principles, cosmic forces, or natural patterns like the Fibonacci square and things like that. Numerology, which was known before the 20th century as arithmancy, which is actually a real word. It's not something that J.K. Rowling made up. It's the belief in the occult, the divine, or the mystical relationship between a number and one or more coinciding events. Also, it's the study of the numerical value via the alphanumeric system, which is what we're going to use. Each letter in the alphabet is assigned a number, and we'll go through that in just a few minutes. So each letter in words or names corresponds to something, and when you add them, they correspond to something bigger. When numerology is applied to a person's name, it's a form of what's called onomancy, which is divination based on a subject's name. It's often associated with astrology and other divinatory arts also. The term arithmancy is actually derived from 2 Greek words, arithmos, meaning number, and manatia, meaning divination. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce the Greek word here that I pulled off the internet, but it means arithmancy. So thus it's the study of divination through numbers. Although the word arithmancy dates back to the 1570s, the word numerology is not recorded in English before circa 1907, so the beginning of the 20th century. The practice of gematria, which is assigning numeric values to words and names, and then inputting those values with religious meaning, dates back to antiquity. An Assyrian inscription, actually from the 8th century BC and commissioned by Sargon II, declares that, quote unquote, the king built the wall of Khorramshahr, 16,283 cubits long, to correspond with the numeric value of his name. Whether this is true or not, I don't know. The rabbinic literature uses gematria also to interpret passages in the Hebrew Bible, which I did not know about. The practice of using the alphabetic letters to represent numbers developed in the Greek city of Miletus, and it's thus known as the Milesian system. Early examples can include of vase graffitis, the vases like what we put flowers or flour, milk, things like that. It's a vessel that holds things. So vase graffiti, And some of this stuff can date back to as far as the 6th century BCE, which is before the Common Era. Aristotle also wrote that the Pythagorean tradition was found in the 16th century by Pythagoras of Samos. He practiced isopsephy, the Greek predecessor of Hebrew gematria. Pythagoras was also a contemporary of the philosopher Anaximander and a couple of others I'm not even going to try to pronounce, and also the historian Hecataeus. All of these people lived in Miletus across the sea from Samos. The Melanesic system was in common use by the reign of Alexander the Great, which was 336 to 323 BCE, and was adopted by other cultures during the subsequent Hellenistic period. It's officially adopted in Egypt also during the reign of Ptolemy II, which was 284 to 246 BCE. And I didn't even realize the Egyptians actually used a numbering system like this. By the late 14th century AD, following the Edict of Thessalonica in 380 AD and the subsequent enforcement of Nicene Christianity under Theodosius I, departures from the belief of the state church were actually classified as civil violations within the Roman Empire. Numerology at that particular time referred to as okay, hang on a second. I got this before we started. It's isopsephy, remains in use in conservative Greek Orthodox circles even today, and particularly in mystical and theologian context. Now, some of the alchemical theories were closely related to numerology also. For example, Arabic chemist Jabir ibn Hayyan framed his experiments in an elaborate numerology based on the names of substances in the Arabic language. Numerology is prominent in Sir Thomas Browne's 1658 literary discourse called The Garden of Cyprus. Throughout its pages, the author attempts to demonstrate that the number 5 and related quincux patterns can be found throughout the arts in design, nature, and particularly botany. Some approaches to understanding the meaning of the Quran, which is the book of the Muslims, include the understanding of numerological meanings, numerological symbols, and their combinations with purely textual approaches. Now, there's other systems also. Alphanumeric systems and their related uses are various numerological systems that assign numerical values to letters of an alphabet or an alphabet of a different language. Examples can include the Abjad numerals in Arabic, Hebrew numerals, the Armenian numerals, and Greek numerals. The practice within Jewish tradition of assigning mystical meaning to words based on the numerical values and on connections between the words of equal value is what's known as gematria. The Mandaean numeral alpha syllabary also use numerology. The Book of the Zodiac is an important Mandaean text on numerology also. Now, the Pythagorean method, which is what I use, is very simple. It uses a kind of place value for number letter attributions, such as the ancient Hebrew and Greek systems. The letters of the modern Latin alphabet are assigned numeric values 1 through 9. That's why it's very simple. 1 through 9, that's all you use. The Agrippan method is a little bit different. It's called Agrippa's Numerology, and it was published in the 3 books of occult philosophy. Now, the gentleman Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa actually applied the concept of arithmetic to the classic Latin alphabet in the 16th century in what's known as 3 books of occult philosophy. What he did was map out the letters as follows in accordance with the Latin alphabet place value at that time. Note that the letters U and J and W were not commonly considered part of the Latin alphabet at that time, so it has since then evolved. There's also what's called angel numbers, which some people are familiar with. Now, that's defined as by Doreen Virtue and Lynette Brown in 2004, of numbers consisting of repeating digits such as 111, 444, 666, put 4 sixes, not 3, etc. But as of 2023, a number of popular media publications have published articles suggesting that these numbers have numerological significance. So, what Doreen Virtue has since renounced the whole concept of angel numbers. And in 2024, actually, in an interview with The Cut, I believe that was a TV show. I don't watch TV very much, so I'm not sure. Declaring that, and she actually said this on the show. She said, "It's garbage. I regret it, and I'm sorry I ever made them." So I know a lot of people believe in that sort of thing, and a lot of people follow it. And if she wants to say that's her business. So I guess she'll take that all the way to the bank, because I know she still sells her books. There's also other various systems that by intrigue surfaced and garnered interest. Some of these also include biblical numerology, which is numeric symbolism in biblical text, anagram of personality, which is a model of the human psyche used as a personality typology, frequency illusion, which is cognitive bias, number of the beast, which I'm sure everybody has heard. That's the association with the beast in the book of Revelation. Numbers in Norse mythology. Sacred geometry, of course, which is symbolic and sacred meanings attributed to certain geometric shapes. Scatter tables, which I have never heard of. This is the association array for storing key value pairs. And then synchromysticism, which are belief systems attributing meaning to coincidences. And of course, there's always synchronicity. However, by far the easiest system to learn is the Pythagorean system. Also, scientific theories can sometimes label numerology as their source, of their primary inspiration appears to be a set of patterns rather than scientific observations. This use of the term is quite common within the scientific community, but it's mostly used to dismiss theories and questionable science. So it's kind of like an excuse. So we're going to learn a very easy hands-on system. And this lecture, like I said, is interactive. So the Pythagorean system, hopefully everybody can see everything. I have a black bar across the top of my screen, but I hope you all can read everything. The numbers, the general meaning of numbers there is that each column is assigned a specific area. Now you'll notice on number 9, there's only I and R because Z is the last letter of our alphabet in English. So the colors coordinate, which is a little bit easier to actually see and follow. And I've repeated this particular chart throughout the lectures, so we don't have to go back to it. You can have it for reference. Just to give you an idea, number meanings and references. Number 1 is like the sun. It's the first one. It's intuitive. Lucky days are Friday and Saturday, things like that. Let's see. I believe I put it on the next slide. There we go. General meaning of numbers. Keywords right there. Intuitive, potential, singularity, karmic life, purpose, confidence, originality. And this can be positive or negative, the life purpose. Okay. Number 2 right there. Balance, harmony, partnership, karmic life purpose, coordination, cooperation, balance. Your gift is intuition. Each number does come with a gift. How you use it is up to you. 3 keywords: vision, imagination, creativity, that sort of thing, the joy of living, expression, sensitivity, imagination, artistic endeavors. 4 is growth, building things, foundation, stability, process. Manual skills is the gift of number 4. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to go build a house or you have to go into construction. Manual skills just means something you do with your hands, like sewing or needle crafting or crocheting or digging in the dirt, having an herb garden, having flowers, maybe making an herb farm, and then you grow your little plants, take it to a farmer's market or somewhere to share the wealth with people, and they come and buy them from you, that sort of thing. It's using your digits, your hands. Number 5, progress, adventure, opportunity. Those are really, really big words that mean a lot of different things. So, what you can do is just think about what you want and see where it corresponds right here when we get to your numbers. The gift of number 5 is assertiveness. This has to be one that you're careful with, because sometimes when you get too assertive, you can be called a bully. That's on the negative side. As with everything else, you just have to keep it balanced. Number 6, justice, nurturing, responsibility. Therein again, there's a lot of different possibilities for choices. A karmic life vision and purpose is acceptance. There's the gift of beauty. So you could become an interior decorator, perhaps, work with people's homes. 7 keywords: analysis, awareness, understanding, karmic life purpose, trust, openness. Their gifts is sympathy and empathy. Number 7s are usually highly intuitive. Number 8, keyword is experience, authority, endeavor. Karmic life purpose is abundance, power. Your keywords are, let's see, experience, authority, endeavor. And then you have abundance and power. This one you have to be careful. Number 8 is a very materialistic number. You have to be aware of what you're doing, keep it balanced. Those with a number 8 life path tend to be highly focused and ambitious. And often you have to guard against sacrificing too much of your personal life in pursuit of that almighty dollar, to make a buck, to get the next best job, to get the next best position in life. Number 9, selflessness. The number 9 is our final number. So that is usually a spiritual number. It encompasses a whole lot, just like the keyword selflessness, forgiveness, creativity. It could be literally almost anything. Karmic life purpose, integrity, wisdom, which I would probably also include patience, especially with the self. And the gift is analysis. So you think about things, you figure stuff out. Master numbers are actually very good to know. Some people use them, some people don't. It's just a higher vibration of the numbers. So, for instance, 11, if you add 1 plus 1, 2 is the lower vibration of 11, if that makes sense. For 22, add 2 and 2, and that's 4. 4 is the lower vibration of that number. So, and 33, that's actually considered a Mahatma number. Jesus Christ was actually a 33 because he traveled so much and he spread the word of peace and balance and prosperity to people and helped so many people. The lower vibration is 6, which is justice, nurturing, responsibility. So hopefully that makes sense. We start with the lower vibration and we work up. All right. So, for instance, to make an easy chart, this is an example. We're going to go over the examples, then we're going to play with it. So I created this as simply as I could. And I didn't realize until after I did this and one other chart that the numbers are very similar in one particular area, which we'll get to. So you take your full name at birth, and I picked Chyne Doe, birth date March 15th, 2000. So the Ides of March. If you look down at the sample, I did the birthday first. March is the third month, so it's got a 3. 15, you add 1 plus 5, that's a 6. Hopefully everybody can see the red letters. And then 2000, zeros really can't be added, so you have a 2. So if you go back and add 3 for March, 6, because 1 plus 5 is 6, and then 2, you're going to end up with 11. 1 plus 1 is 2. You have a 2 birth path. So let me go back in my notes really quick. If you have a 2 birth path, excuse me, then your keywords are balance, harmony, partnership. Cooperation is one of your karmic life purposes. Balance, it represents adaptability, partnership, intuition, diplomacy. You could be a peacemaker. You could help people. You could be maybe a UN diplomat. When we progress down to the name at birth, Chyne Doe, what we assign is vowels on top, which is the 5 and the 1. The E is the 5, the A is the 1, because that's the representative. Okay. And if we go to the last name, we have O and U is for the vowels, the 6 and the 3. So 5 plus 1 is 6. We learned that above just a minute ago. And then we add the 6 and the 3 to 9. If we add the 6 and the 9, it's a 15. And then we add the 1 and the 5 to bring it down to a single digit. We always bring it down to a single digit. That's called the heart or the soul's urge. Okay, that's instinctively what you are actually driven to do in this life. So you have your life path with your actual birth date. All you have to do is the date. You don't have to have a birth time or anything like that. That's a different type of divination. Your vowels are your soul's urge, your heart's desire, what you really, really want to do in this life. And consonants. So Chyne has an S and an N, which is 1 and a 5. Hey, look, it's a 6 again. So we put that 6 down. All right. Everybody see that long line right under where I have 1, 5, and then 4, 7, and 8? That's the personality line. So that's just the consonants. The vowels are on top. Excuse me. The consonants are next. So 1 plus 5 is 6. And then we go to the last name. We have a 4, a 7, and an 8, which is a 19. But we need to get it to a single digit. So 1 plus 9 is 1, because 10 and 0 really doesn't count. So we have 1 plus 6 is a 7. That's where we get that 7 for the personality. If we go and add everything up, vowels and consonants, we have a 6 for the first name up on top. We have that 6 there. We're going to get a 12, and we add that 1 and 2. That's a 3. So Chyne, right here, number is 3. His last name, Doe, we have a 9 on top, and we have a 1. So that's a 10. So if we add 3 plus 1, because 0 doesn't count, it's a 0. It's 4. So his destiny is 4. Now remember, 4 is a lower vibration of 22. 22 is a master builder. So if we start on a lower level, you can still build. You can build a software program. You can build a house. You can build a garden. You can build a story. You can be a famous writer. It's endless, actually, when you think about it. So hopefully that made sense. We're going to go into a little bit more. So this is Chyne. Okay. I'm going to introduce you to Jane. All right. So Jane's a little bit more complicated because Jane and Sean got together and they got married. All right. So first, Jane's full name at birth was Jane Ivy Jones. When she married Sean, she became Jane Doe. So I did both of her charts. Her birthday is December 22nd, 2001. So we're going to come right down here. Birth date, December, which is the 12th month. That's going to be a 1 plus 2 equals 3. So right there in the red, the 3, that is the number that corresponds to December. 22, that's her birthday, the 22nd of December. We add that together. 2 plus 2 is 4. So her day number is 4, even though she was born on 22. We added it together. 2001, no zeros. 2 plus 1 is 3. So we have a 3, a 4, and a 3. So if you add 2 3s, that's a 6. So a 6 and a 4 is a 10. I know I did it backwards. That's okay. That's the way my brain works. So we have a 10, but we need a single number. 0 doesn't count because you can't really add it to anything. So we have a 1 birth or life path for her. Okay. So we had, I believe it was a 2 for him. And let me look back real quick. Yeah, we had a 2 for Sean, and we have, excuse me, we have a 1 for her. So Jane Ivy Jones, her vowels, actually, we do the same thing with that. 1 plus 5 is 6. We have the 9. And then we have the 6 and a 5, which is 11. 1 plus 1 equals 2. So if we take the 6, the 9, and the 2, we have an 8, which is her soul's urge at birth. Okay. Even if you change your name, you're always going to keep these original numbers. This was the name on your birth certificate that you had, that you agreed to before you came into this life. Okay. So the consonants are actually your personality. I think I missed saying that. So if we go down, hey, look, she's also got a 1 5. That's a 6. So Jane and Sean, both of those names are almost identical with the numbers, or they are identical because that's a 6. Ivy, we have a 4 and a 7. So that's an 11. 1 plus 1 equals 2. If we go to her single last name that she was born with, Jones, it's a 1 because we have a J, 5 for the N, and the 1 for the S. We add those together, and that's a 7. Okay. So Jane is 6, Ivy is 2, Jones is 7. So we end up with a 15. 6 plus 2 plus 7. We need a single digit. So we add 1 plus 5, which is a 6. That's her personality number. That's what she was born with. Okay. If we add the vowels and the consonants together, we have a 6 for Jane and a 6 for Jane. We have a 12. Excuse me. We add 1 plus 2, which is 3. Ivy, we have a 9, and then we have a 2, which is 11, and then 1 plus 1 is 2. And then we have that 9 from the 7 and the 2 for her last name, Jones. So we have a 3 for Jane, we have a 2 for Ivy, and we have a 9 for Jones. Adding all those up is 14. Reducing it down to a single digit, 1 plus 4, which is 5. 5 is her destiny number. She will always keep the original numbers right here. They will always influence, even if she goes by another name, which actually she does. Because if you look a little bit over to the right, Jane, we're going to keep those numbers because she didn't change that name. 1 plus 5 is 6 for her vowels. 1 plus 5 is 6 for her consonants. For both of them combined, that's the 3 again. All I did was move it from one side of the page to the other. Doe, she took her husband's last name, Jane Doe. So we have a O and a U, which is a 6 and a 3. Add that together, that's a 9. So 6 plus 9 is 15. Reduced to a single digit, 1 plus 5 is 6. That is her new soul's urge or heart's desire. So she went from an 8, which she will always carry, to a 6. Okay. Coming down to the consonants, her personality also changed just a little bit. So 6 plus 19, which is 4, 7, and 8. 1 plus 9 is 10, and then reduced to 1. 6 plus 1 is 7. And I'll answer questions in just a moment. We're almost there, I promise. So if we go back to Jane, 6 consonant, 6 on the vowels, equal 12, and then 1 plus 2 is 3. So we have that 3 right there. And then for dough, we have the 9 in the vowels. And then we have the 1 in the consonants, which is 10, which is actually 3 plus 1 because 0 doesn't add. We have a 4 for her destiny. So she went from a 5 to a 4. Let me see if I can back up a little bit. Now I want you to take a look at these numbers for her married name: 6, 7, and 4, right? See if I can go backwards. Okay, check this out. Her husband also has a 6, a 7, and a 4. I promise I did not plan this. I just started writing and I came up with the names. It just happened to work out like this. So they have the same soul's urge. They have the same personality number. They have the same destiny. Okay. 6, 7, and 4. Now, with her 6, she's also going to have those extra attributes from the 8. Her personality 7 is going to match her husband's or her partner's, but she's always going to have that 6 also. So she has some added benefits from this karmic information. The 4 means that they could probably work really well together, but we're going to check a compatibility chart in a little bit. She'll always have the 5 destiny, which means she's always going to be adventurous. She's always going to be outspoken. She's always going to be looking around the corner for the next big thing. And she probably should actually concentrate on things a little bit closer to home. Okay. Let's see, right there. So vowels. This is your chance to have some fun. The vowels are represented by the little circle. Okay. That's like the last one. The soul's urge, those are circles. And then when we come down to the consonant, those are squares. That's your personality. And then the destiny is a triangle. That's how you can keep track of all this. So I want you to write your birth name down. Okay. And we're going to do this together. Leave enough space between your names, if it's 3 names or 2, because we're going to put numbers above it and below it. And if you want to, you can put your name right in the middle of a piece of paper, an 8.5 by 11. And what I'd like you to do, see right up in the upper right corner, I put the system right here, the Pythagorean system. You can see the numbers and the letters. So like if your first name was Sue, S-U-E, S, if you'll look down, is a 1. U is a 3, and E is a 5. You would put the U and an E above the name Sue. That's an example only. Okay. I'm moving my little extras here. I want y'all to be able to see all the numbers. And if you can't see something or if you're having an issue, feel free to unmute and I'll see if I can help you. We're going to stay here for just a minute longer so everybody can actually get their information down. Remember, the vowels go above your name. And real quick, I'm going to switch back so you can see what I'm talking about. Right here, Jane Ivy Jones or Jane Doe. The vowels are over the top. So over the A in Jane, I put the 1. And over the E, I put the 5. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. I'm switching back now. I'm going to get a quick drink. I will be right back. All right. So we should have all the vowels already numbered. We're going to progress to the consonants. Okay. So right here, this is your personality. So the consonants are going to go right underneath, just like Jane's and Sean's. So there again, if your name is Sue, the S is a consonant. You're going to put that number underneath that S. So your birth name should be right in the middle of the paper. Just go ahead and look up and attribute all of those letters and assign them a number and go ahead and put that down. This is your personality. That's what goes in the little square. I'll give you about a minute. Oh, and again, if anybody is getting lost, feel free to unmute and I'll see if I can help you.
Are you doing your middle name as well?
You're doing your whole name at birth, what you were
Okay.
assigned.
All right. Awesome. Sorry.
That's okay. No problem. Oh, my little light went out. I have to get another candle. It's not working properly. So you have your first name. If you have a middle name or two, that's fine. It's whatever's on your birth certificate at birth, men and women. And sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes when you get married to someone, the man will take the woman's name. My cousin did that. He was I think, Episcopalian as when we were kids and as they grew up. He fell in love with a wonderful, very lovely Jewish lady. And they got married. And because she was their only child and they didn't want their last name to be lost to antiquity, he actually took her last name to continue the Jewish line through the daughter, which I thought was really nice. All right, so consonant numbers. We usually have a few more consonants than vowels. Hopefully everybody found everything. And we are going to move on. So we have vowels and now we have consonants. This is your personality. Now that we have that, we're going to combine everything. So take one name at a time. Your first name, you're going to actually calculate the vowels on top, just like we did in the example. So above the first name, 1, 2, 3 vowels, however many you had, add them up, and right above that, put that single number or put the double digit, add those two numbers to get together and get a single number. So if you have like an 11, add the 1 and 1 and get that 2. And I tend to put a slash on mine to keep track of it. I'm going to go back so you can see what I'm talking about. All right. So the birth date, December 22, 2001, right in the middle on the left side. If you'll go up, December is the 12th month right there. I put 12 and then in parentheses 1 plus 2, and then I put a slash and I put a 3 and I made it red so you can see it. I normally don't do that if I'm handwriting something. Also on the 22, I put in parentheses the 2 plus 2, and especially for the longer, let's see, the longer names like Jones right there. 1 plus 5 plus 1. Let's see, 7. Ivy. Oh, there it is. Doe, her married name. on the lower right-hand side, 19, 1 plus 9, you get a 10. You have to reduce that again to the 1. So hopefully that makes sense. Put the little slash so you can keep track of it. Okay. So after you've done each name of the vowels on top, you're going to keep moving up as you progress and get to that single digit above each, one number above each name. When you get there for the vowels, you're going to add those up and put them off to the right, do an equal sign and put them off to the right. If it's not a single number, you can reduce it down. Just add the numbers together. When you've done that, we're going to do the same thing for the consonants. Do one name at a time. Your first name, your last name, or your first and your middle. And if you have another middle name, and then your last, this is your birth name, okay? It's okay to use a calculator. My first name is very long. It's 9 letters. So, yeah, there's a lot of consonants in it. I don't use it very often because it's difficult to remember for some people. And I will go ahead and give you all some time. Consonants, don't forget, they have specific numbers. When you get all the numbers assigned to the letters underneath the letters of all of your names, the first, the middle, the last, go back to the first one and let's start adding it together. Like the name Sue, S-U-E, you had just the S for the consonant, okay? So if you look there, S is 1, but you also had a U and an E, which is a 3 and a 5, which is an 8. So the vowel would be 8. You're going to add that, excuse me, you're going to add that to 1 and get 9. So your personality is the consonants. You're going to add the consonants in the vowel, and you're going to come down and make another line. So you've got 2 lines, excuse me, 2 lines under your birth name and 1 above. This is the longest part of this, I promise. It's going to get shorter. And again, if anybody's having problems, I can give you a hand, just unmute. When you get all of the consonants and you've got single numbers, go ahead and add your consonants, then put an equal sign, and you're going to put that number, and then make sure it's reduced to a single number. So that's your personality number. When you got your heart urge, soul's urge, whatever you want to call it, the vowel number, add that single vowel, add the single consonant, bring it down to that last line, and put that under the names. So you'll be adding across, and you're also adding down. These are different numbers. And if anybody needs me to switch back to the example, I can do that. Just let me know.
I think that I have it.
Okay.
You're just all the numbers you get, vowels and consonants, added together is your destiny.
Yes, exactly.
Now
That's that last bottom line.
My urge and my personality added together equals my destiny. Is that unusual?
Yes. Oh, that's
exactly right. Okay. And I had a little help because my middle name is Sue, so you were doing mine.
Oh, excellent.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm a 3 and a 5 and an 8.
Okay, excellent.
I'm all
Yeah, the circle we put around the soul heart surge number, and then this little square around the personality, and then the triangle around destiny. So that will help you keep track of everything.
Carl is all nines.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I bet he has deep lines in his palm.
Do you have deep lines in your palm? Oh.
My palms are nothing but lines.
The deeper your lines, told by a palm, the older that your soul is.
Oh, I believe it.
And if he has all nines, that's interesting because that tells me you either have no challenges or you have all challenges.
They're all challenges.
That means
everything has to be a contest.
Before you came into this life, to be able to do. How's everybody else doing? We ready to move on?
Mm-hmm.
So mine's weird. My birth name, life number total, equals my birthday number.
That's fine.
Okay. I just thought that was weird.
No, it's not at all. You only have one per nine. We're going to have same numbers here and there.
Oh, yeah, my birth number is 6.
Mm-hmm.
So I got 6, 3, 5, and 8. I'm all over the place.
Yeah, my birth number, destiny are actually the same number.
See?
That means I got to get them all. All righty. We're going to move on. So I saved this one for last instead of starting with it. Your birth date. This is your birth path or the path you'll take in life. These are your assets and your karma. This is what you bring in from previous lives. This is the day that you agreed to be born on because of the vibrations. And I just happened to pick January 1, 1999. No reason at all. I just picked it. January is the first month, so it's a 1. The first day, that's a 1. Yay. 1999. I put it in parentheses. We have to add the 1 plus the 9 plus the 9 plus the 9. And I'm going to give you a little hint. Here's a trick that you can use. Anything added to 9 is going to be itself because the 9 automatically cancels out. So if you go backwards here, we have a 9 plus a 9 is 18 plus a 9 is 27, right? Plus a 1 is 28. Yeah. So if you go to 28, the 2 plus the 8 is a 10. The 0 cancel out. That's a 1. So you can cancel all those 9s. It's a 1. Probably doesn't make a hill of beans at this point, but it's just a really easy way to add when you don't have to do all the 9s. And when we add all 3 1s, because 1999 ends up being a 1 year, we get a 3. So your birth or life path, which is the day, the month, and the year, is a 3 if this is your birthday. Now, if you have a double-digit month, you're going to do the same thing. Like December, you add the 1 plus 2. Like Jane Doe's. Her birthday was December 22nd. So we add 1 plus 2, and December is actually a 3 vibration month, if that makes sense. So October being 10, that's going to be a 1 vibration. November, which is 11, 1 plus 1, that's a 2 vibration. And then December is a 3 vibration. All righty. So this one is pretty simple. We're going to go ahead and move on a little bit here. So careers, you can look at this 2 ways. You can check your destiny number, which is vowels and consonants. It's that last line that you did, and find out what the number calculation is. 1 through 9. This is just a beginning. You can also look at your birth path, your birthday number, and maybe put them together and not add them together, but check out all the possibilities. So if you have the same birthday number and the same destiny number, you're actually going to be pretty lucky because you have one number to actually look at. If you have two different numbers, you've got maybe a little bit more of a possibility. It depends on the numbers. Okay. So if you mostly look at destiny because that's your path in life. That's what you're destined to do. So as like number one, self-employment, craftsmen, lawyers, farmers. Farmers, you don't necessarily dig in the dirt. Maybe you're farming something else like information. Okay. 3, writers, filmmakers, biologists, medical scientists. 4, bankers, accountants, people that work with numbers. All of these numbers have specific energies that attribute to these particular fields of interest and career choices.
This is supposed to be your vowels?
No, this is everything. This is vowels
got
and
it.
consonant. This is the last line you did.
Okay, sorry.
That's all right. Does everybody understand how the career thing works? This is just an idea.
Carl had a 9 there too.
Yeah, you said he had all.
Yes. And his birthday added up to 9 too, because he was born in 1972. So the 7 and the 2 is a 9. Cancel.
Wow.
One.
Wow. You have to stick with 9. But when you get one 9, that's a single digit. So that counts.
That counts.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm an 8.
That's pretty good. Okay, there you go. Entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Let's see. Business leader. Business leader.
But my birthday was a 6, so I'm a teacher and a healer. I'm making a living off of teaching and healing.
Yes,
I can combine it.
Land-based work because you do a lot of social justice.
Mm-hmm.
You do the warning for people that have to sleep on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
You actually help by holding events and spreading information. Yeah.
And Carl is a creative volunteer.
I think that's excellent. So I'm going to go back to another page and read a little bit about careers. I can find my page. Because some of the numbers are really interesting. I just wrote like the basics down. Number 1, if you'll remember the Pythagorean system, number 1 is A and J and S. The number 1 is ruled by the sun. It's also the color red. Lucky days are Friday and Saturday. A lot of the positive qualities of 1 are intuition, action, new beginnings, independence, individuality, creativity, idea-oriented things, leadership ability, able to gain great inner strength. Some negative qualities, if you turn some of these around, you really could be egotistical, unstable, a little too ambitious, maybe even ruthless. And I know some people that actually are really gung-ho about some things. Be careful about being shallow or stagnant, domineering, selfish, too aggressive, or too impatient, especially with yourself. Okay. So number 2, some positive qualities are adaptability, mediation, partnership, intuition, diplomacy, insightful one-on-one relationships, balance, choices, duality, reflection, harmony, cooperation, diplomatic endeavors, balance, intuitive things. Now, if you turn a few of those around, some negative qualities could be overly sensitivity, unrealistic, materialistic, shy, timid, spineless, secretive, may tend to vacillate a little bit. The moon orange are also attributed to the number 2 and the letters B, K, and T. Oh, and by the way, the number 1, your gift is verbal expression. Number 2, your gift is intuition. Number 3, self-expression. It's really important to have imagination, creativity, be a part of a community and a family. You're a big communicator, very inventive. You like chaos most of the time. Synergies, you're energetic, imaginative, pretty brilliant, joyful, very social, artistic, can be sensitive, but you're also very imaginative. Be careful not to be extravagant, critical, scattered, too moody, self-absorbed, or superficial. Your gift of the number 3 and these particular letters are artistic imagination. It's ruled by Jupiter and the color yellow. Number 4, which is D, M, and V, that's ruled by Uranus and the color green. Some positive qualities are order, growth, foundation building, self-worth, stability, dependability. You're very detail-oriented and practical, very benevolent, hardworking, honest, conservative, organized, loyal, mostly practical, and steady, sometimes a little too serious. Be very careful not to be bossy or worrisome, obstinate, trying to get your point across. Be careful about being overly conservative also, or disorganized or stubborn. Your gift is manual skills. We talked about that a little earlier. It's not necessarily digging in the dirt. Half a second. I have a kitty cat that is about to get in trouble. She's after my computer mouse, and I'm very sorry. Okay, Butters, go down. Go down. Come on. Come on, sweetie. Okay. So number 5, it's E, N, and W. It's ruled by Mercury, and the colors are a medium or a royal blue. A lot of the positive qualities. You're charming, you're adaptable, you're confident, dynamic, creative. You like opportunities. Sometimes you create your own opportunities. You love to travel. Again, very creative, innovative. You tend to be competitive and adventurous. Don't worry so much. Don't be so impatient or bored. Try not to be restless. Try not to be rebellious or procrastinate. Be careful of your nervous system. The gift of number 5 is assertiveness. That's where sometimes we can be overly projective and maybe be a little bossy. Number 6, this one's easy. F-O-X, fox. That's how I remember that one. It's ruled by Venus. The color is indigo. That's that beautiful dark blue. Lucky days are Sunday and Thursday. Some positive qualities are that you're very caring, you're protective, you're helpful, compassionate, you like harmony, you're not afraid of responsibility, you're very protective and successful. Be careful not to be overconfident. Be careful not to be self-righteous or a chronic worrier over things. Your particular gift is a love of beauty. 7 is G, P like puppy, and Y. It's ruled by Neptune and the color violet. Some positive qualities are that you're understanding, you like analysis, you tend to be pious, careful, spiritual, studious, very cunning, very good at delegating things. You're good with strategies, but not overly so. Be careful not to be a perfectionist or intolerant or secretive or too solitary. Remember, there's other people around. Your gift is sympathy and empathy. The number 8 is ruled by Saturn and the color rose red. So it's a little softer than that regular red. Positive qualities are that you're a planner, you're very entrepreneurial, you're farsighted, you have a good authority, strength, evolution. Be careful to control your temper, not to be bossy. There's another one. Unrealistic, domineering, forceful. Don't be greedy or selfish. Be careful of being materialistic also. Number 9 is I and R. It's ruled by Mars and the color gold. Positive qualities are creativity, generosity, contentment, reevaluation, contemplation, confidence, sophistication. You're a hopeful romantic at times, generous. Be careful not to be arrogant or argumentative, closed-minded, aloof, or lazy. Okay? Your gift is analysis. So hopefully that helped. When you go over a lot of your particular numbers and the possibilities, I mean, it's like you're not really pigeonholed in anything. You can do anything you want, within reason, of course. It's like number 9, natural born volunteers who are attracted to positions that require diplomacy or a strong sense of justice. You can be a really, really good humanitarian. It's like number 2 can be a diplomat. You can be a UN diplomat, or you can be a diplomat somewhere else, maybe in human resources, working for a big corporation. So hopefully that made sense. We're going to move on. And I have a bonus here before we get to the numerology compatibility section. And just because your numbers may not seem compatible doesn't mean you're not compatible. Okay, just putting that out there before we get there. This particular page is pretty easy to figure out. Basically, you have your personal birthday, right? You have your month, your day, and your year. That's never going to change. If you want to find out if a certain day is lucky, stick that day in there. You use your month, your birth month, that particular day of the calendar day, and your birth year. Okay. And I did an example here, your month. So if it's January, put 1. Okay. Also, October, don't forget, 1 is the vibration of October because it's the 10th month. Calendar day 10 and your birth year, 1999. Actually, I went from the birth date at the top. 1999 is a 1. So if you do 1, 10, and 1, it's a 3 because the 0 doesn't count. It doesn't add in. So your luck for the day of the 10th, whether it's October or January, 10th is going to be 3, and that's a creative number. We do the same thing for the month, the calendar month. So again, let's use October. We have 10 here. Excuse me. Birth date, January 1. We have a 1 there. Birth year, we have a 1. So 111, there's another 3. I swear I didn't do this on purpose. Current year, 2025. If we add 2, 0, 2, and 5, it's a 9. This is a completion year. That's also a really, really big benefit of the number 9. 9 is the last of the numbers. So before we go back to 1. So it's a really good time to wrap things up. It's a good time to bring things to a closure or transition to something new or get ready to transition to something new within the next year. So current year here is 9. Your personal year, if your birthday is January 1, 1999, your birth month is 1, that's January. Birthday is 1. Current year, 2025, which is a 9. So if we add 1, 1, and 9, that's 11. And let's reduce that to 1 plus 1 is 2. Your personal year is a 2, even though the universal year, the 2025 universal year, is a 9. So you'll have this 9 energy, but you also have the 2 that you can work with. 2 is wonderful for details. It's also good for a lot of other things that we've talked about. So I hope that makes sense. If you want to do today, you can. This is actually October 10th. So the month, October, put your birthday in, whatever number it is, reduce it to 1. It's like if it's 11 or 22 or 30, reduce it down to 1, add it up. That's going to be your personal month right here. Your personal year is your birth month, your birth date, and the current calendar year. That's called the universal year.
Mine's a 2 because today's my birthday.
There you go. Excellent. So hopefully everybody's done because we're going to move on. We got one more. I saved this for last because it's a lot of fun. And like I said, even if the numbers say you're not as compatible as you think you are, go by your intuition, go by your gut feeling. Sometimes the best pairs actually complement. You have different interests, you have different things that you get into, different books you read, different shows on TV you watch, different movies you like. You complement one another instead of being the same. It's like a 5 and a 5 is, let's see, I'm going to come down, take advantage of your advantageous nature. Okay. Maybe you two could go hiking in the mountains. Or a 5 and a 2, it says you will lift your friend's spirits when they are down. These are just ideas. You can also look at your destinies. You can look at personality numbers. That's a really good indication. Like I said, even if it doesn't seem to mesh or go together, could be totally wrong. I know people that bicker like cats and dogs, and they love each other to death. They would never divorce. My great aunt and uncle were like that. They bickered and they squabbled and they loved each other more than life. Of course, that was several decades ago. They're not here anymore. Well, they're not here physically on this plane. I should say they're still around somewhere.
So I can't read that writing. What does an 8 and a 9 do?
An 8 and a 9 push each other and work on points.
Push each other?
Also encourage your friend to express their true feelings. Hope this is making sense. If you need to take a screenshot of this, and when you get it back on your computer, you can enlarge it. This was as big as I could get on this particular screen. And the one I actually printed out is too small. I can't read it. So we've covered an awful lot tonight. what numerology is, the basic Pythagorean system, which is 1 through 9. It's the easiest to use. How to find your soul's urge, your birth path, your personality, your destiny. You know how to calculate your personal days and months and your year. You know how to do the universal year, which is only that year's number. It can be 1999. It can be 2032. It's only that number. You know how to check out a compatibility chart. You know how to find possible career paths if you want to explore something new. You also have an idea about what the numbers represent. So if anybody has questions or comments or suggestions, you can unmute. And we can go into a Q&A session. Well, thank you all very much for listening. Yes. It's just like 8 o'clock. I wasn't going to go an hour.